Have you ever felt something you wish you didn't? Not love, not hate, just something dangerous. Something that makes your heart beat faster, but also makes you feel guilty for even noticing. This is my story. My name is Rachel. I've been married to David for 7 years. We have no children, just the two of us, in a quiet apartment with soft lighting and too much silence. David is kind, he's gentle, and he works a lot. We don't fight, we don't yell, but we also don't talk much anymore. Most nights, he comes home tired. He eats quietly, watches the news, falls asleep on the couch, and I sit across the room reading books I never finish. I guess you could say we are peaceful, but inside me, something was beginning to ache. Not loudly, not all at once. It was a quiet ache, like missing something I had forgotten the name of. Then came Ethan. He's David's best friend since college, charming, playful, always smiling, the kind of person who remembers your birthday, even when you don't. He started coming over more often after David's promotion. They would talk in the living room for hours about sports, work, memories, and I would sit nearby, listening, smiling when Ethan made a joke, laughing too long at things that weren't that funny. I told myself, he's just being friendly. But soon, I started noticing things. He always greeted me first. He always asked how I was doing, even when David didn't. He remembered the name of the tea I liked, the book I once mentioned in passing, the way I twisted my ring when I was anxious. He noticed things my husband no longer did. One evening, David was running late from work. Ethan showed up anyway, holding a small plant. I thought this would brighten up your kitchen, he said. I smiled, but something twisted in my stomach. I shouldn't feel this way. We sat at the table, sipping tea, talking about nothing important. Then, for a moment, the room fell quiet. He looked at me, just looked, and for the first time I saw it. Not kindness, not politeness, but something softer, sadder, like he was holding something in his chest, just like I was. That night, I didn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling, heart racing, and whispered to myself, "What are you doing?" The days after that felt strange. I became hyper-aware of everything. The way he looked at me, the way I looked back, the way I smoothed my hair before he arrived. I hated it, but I also didn't want it to stop. I started avoiding him. When he called, I didn't answer. When he visited, I stayed in the bedroom, pretending to nap. But I heard the way his voice changed when he asked David, "Where's Rachel?" Like he missed something too. One Saturday, David invited him to a barbecue at our place. I couldn't say no. I wore a dress I hadn't worn in years. I told myself it was for David, but when I saw Ethan's eyes stop for a moment, I knew I was lying to myself. That night, after everyone had gone, I stood in the kitchen washing dishes. Ethan walked in quietly. "I'm leaving," he said. I turned to face him. "It's okay," but he didn't leave right away. He stood there watching me. Then he whispered, "This is hard." I didn't answer. He looked at the floor. "I know this is wrong, but I care about you more than I should." Silence. I felt something rise in my chest, panic, guilt, longing. I didn't know which. Then he stepped closer. I stopped him with a single look. "Ethan," I said softly, "you have to go." And he did. That was 6 months ago. He doesn't visit anymore. David hasn't noticed. And me, I sit in the same quiet apartment with the same soft lighting and the same silence. But something inside me has changed. Not because anything happened, but because something almost did. Some people think betrayal only happens with touch, but sometimes it happens in the space between two people who never touch at all. That space